Hey guys, Mindset Mona here from helpingpsychology.com, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the 10 most important tips for setting goals for athletes. This is also really important if you are a coach and you want to help your athletes achieve a certain goal. Now, remember to stay till the end, because at the end I'm going to go through an exercise with you guys to help make sure that you set these goals successfully. Now, the number one thing with goal setting is setting goals can help athletes not only improve their overall performance, it can boost their ability to handle adversity. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you some guidelines to develop specific sport goals for yourself or your team and suggestions for making sure these goals actually happen. Now, the type of goals that you get, and you might have heard this maybe through either YouTube videos or sports psychologists or mindset coaches or anyone in the sporting world talking about these different types of goals. Now, you get performance goals, you get outcome goals, and then you get do your best goals. Now, I'm sure by just hearing that, the third one is obviously the one that we want to try and stay away from as much as possible, is your do your best goals, because it's not able to be measured. And when you just have do your best, often those are people who do not have the trust in their abilities that they will achieve what they want to achieve. But having a performance goal or an outcome goal is definitely the preferred type of goal that you want to be setting. Now, performance goals would be behavioral activities over which you have complete control in your participation and ultimate success in. Basically, it's virtually guaranteed. And the performance goals example that I want to share with you, I'm going to share with you 4 process goals to accompany the outcome goals. So here is the performance goals. Example number 1. I will complete my strength training programs 3 days per week all year long. Now, say for example, you want to compete in a competition at the end of the year, and your goal at the end of the year is, say you are an Olympic weightlifter and you want to lift a 100 kilogram total, for example. Now, the way you are going to get to that 100 kilogram total is first and foremost by achieving your performance goals throughout the year, and that will then be a way for you to measure to see if you are on track to achieve that goal at the end of the year. So again, I will complete my strength training programs 3 days per week all year long. That will help me total that 100 kilograms at my weightlifting meet at the end of the year. Another example is I will stay after training on Wednesdays and Fridays to do extra work on my weaknesses. Now, if you hear that sentence, you can hear that it's specific. On Wednesdays and Fridays, I will stay after class to do extra work on my weaknesses. And that's going to help you ultimately achieve your main outcome goal. Now, here's another example. I will watch my video analysis or successful lifting videos twice a week. By watching your video analysis, you can see how your technique is doing. So this is a great way to set like a performance goal with regarding your technique, making sure if you have certain weaknesses or certain things that your coach said you need to work on, this is a great way to make sure that you are making those necessary changes in order to achieve your goal. And one more example, I will complete 5-minute imagery sessions each week. Now that is a nice mental performance goal to have. Often people set just physical goals, but it's also so important to set that psychological goals, because the psychological is just as important as being physically strong, because you can have all the physical abilities, but come competition day, you need to make sure that you are prepared mentally and physically. you're ready for if anything gets thrown your way that might be able to throw you off your game. You need to basically have the tools to make sure you focus on the things that you can control and let go of the things that you can't control. Or maybe you are an athlete who gets really nervous when they compete. By having your mental performance tools, you will know which exercises to do prior your competition to make sure that you are not as nervous. It could be something like visualization or breathing or whatever it might be that helps you relax before you step onto that platform to compete. Now, here are some key lessons for process goals. Now, what should be clear from these examples is that athletes can completely control whether or not they engage in these activities. So that means it's in your control. So if I don't do the extra work 3 times a week in order to achieve my outcome goal, you specifically know that you will not achieve it. So it's clear and it shows you that it's in complete control. So make sure that when you do set those kind of goals, your process goals, that they are clear and specific and know that it's things that are in your control. And if you don't do them, then you will not achieve your goal. But if you do them, this will put you one step closer to achieving your outcome goal. Now, engaging in these activities will lead to improvements in each of the specified areas of performance, and these improvements will increase the likelihood of achieving the outcome or becoming a better athlete or weightlifter, just depending on what sport you do. Now, each of these goals provide a specific standard of proficiency and a specified time for achievement. Now, that is super important because there needs to be a time when you are going to achieve this. So you will have your outcome goal and say, I want to compete the 15th of December, 2022. That's when it's the weightlifting meet. You know, it's specific. That's the outcome, that's the date, it's time bound, but making sure you achieve that goal, you need to be able to do the extra work 3 times a week for an hour long in order to make sure that you learn the new technique and you put in the work to make sure you achieve your goals. Now, the 10 guidelines for creating performance goals. Super important. In order for goal setting to work for you and your team, the following guidelines should be followed. This is so important. Goals should be difficult but realistic to achieve. Now, unrealistic goals create anxiety and disbelief. That's why it's so important to share your goal or discuss your goal with someone that knows you. It might be a coach, it might be your mentor, or just going and doing some self-reflection to see what goal would be realistic for me. I still want it to be a challenge, but I don't want it to be unrealistic. Now, goals should be specific, observable, and measurable. This also falls under my video that I made previously with regarding setting SMART goals. That will be able to explain to you. If you go and watch that video, you will see what the acronym SMART stands for and how you can use the SMART method to help you set your goals, which has to do with specific, observable, measurable, having a time, and being realistic. Now, it's important to set short-term goals as well as long-term goals, because the long-term goals are really important, because then you know, it gives you a year or 2 years or 3 years to work towards this goal. But the only way you are going to achieve this long-term goal is if you set short-term goals, and by achieving these short-term goals, you know you are on track, so you can measure your performance to see that you are on track to achieving your long-term goal. Now, it's very important to set performance and technique goals rather than just outcome or do your best goals. Now, I do believe in setting outcome goals. It's very important. But what I don't believe in is just setting goals to be your best. That's saying at the end of the year, what do you want to achieve? I just want to do my best. I just want to do my best this year. Yes, obviously you do want to do your best, but by setting a specific goal, and I believe all athletes should have a specific goal, this will not just help you work towards something and create extra motivation, but it's a way to measure, to see how you are doing, how far you have come. So maybe you have been training for many years. If you've set these short-term goals, you can go back and look at what your goals were 2 years ago and how you have actually grown, how have you gotten better. So this is a great way to also go back and see how far you have come. So there's a lot of good about, setting goals. Now, writing your goals down, ink what you think. I feel like when you write your goals down, it sets a sense of permanency, and you can also then put your goal up anywhere around the house, like next to your bed or in the bathroom where you can see it. And then I feel like it's a way to keep yourself accountable to achieve that goal. Now, discussing your goals with at least one other person is so important. And again, this could and should be someone that you trust, someone that's close to you, someone that when things get tough, and I guarantee that things do get tough. As an athlete, performance isn't just linear, it's always up and down curve. So just having that person there to just tell you, stick to your goal, keep doing the work, you're doing an amazing job, just reminding you to just show up, can definitely help motivate you to achieve your goal. Now, you want to make sure that you set your goals yourself rather than simply adopting or stealing someone else's goals for yourself, because you can fake anything except emotion. And when it comes to a goal, when you take someone else's goal, it's not coming from the intrinsic. It's not coming from inside of you. It's not something that you deeply, deeply desire. It could be something that someone else desires maybe for you. And very often that doesn't always work out because you need to want to achieve that goal. So that's really important. Provide and get goal support through interactions with coaches, teammates, and other important people in your life. Very similar to my previous point where I talked about sharing your goal with at least one other person. And then evaluate your goal effectiveness and adjust the goal difficulty in the future so those goals are optimally challenging for your current ability and your future potential. Now, for 2 reasons. This could be, say, you have improved a lot over the years. You need to reassess, where am I currently at? And then basically from there, you can then set your goals for the year or for the season or whatever it might be. Or you might have gone through something. It might have been something emotionally. Maybe something happened in your family or something happened between you and someone special. Or maybe you had an injury, or maybe there were athletes out there who maybe had a baby. Evaluate where you are currently at and then set your goals from there. Now, the 10th point that is really, really important, and this is where a lot of people only set the physical goals, what I said earlier, is you must try and set goals in each of the 4 pillars of sport, which includes your technical side of things, your tactical side of things, your psychological, and your physiological. If you can set goals in all 4 of those pillars, it can help you not just achieve your goals, but it can help you become an all-round better athlete. And again, help you deal with if maybe things don't go according to plan, maybe adversity, maybe something happens, and then being able to focus on the things that you can control. Now, with goal setting, why is goal setting important? It improves performance by focusing on attention to detail and important elements of a skill being performed. Now, it's important to, again, have your goal be realistic and specific, because the more realistic and specific it is, and it's got a time bound, the easier it is to work towards this goal, because you know which attention to detail, you know what detail you need to put your attention to, if that makes sense. Activating and organizing an athlete's efforts, encouraging athletes' perseverance, promoting the development of new learning strategies, refining movements and set plays, and then contributing towards a more positive psychological state, because you have this thing that you're working towards. And when you achieve, for example, your performance goals or your process goals, this will help you stay positive. It will help you build confidence knowing that you are on track for achieving your long-term goal. Now, let me just quickly go down the slides. Here's a little example. So if you're watching my YouTube video of this, you'll be able to see the goal setting example that I have. And like I said, I've got another video out there which explains the SMART principle in detail for you guys. But what the acronym SMART stands for is your goals need to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And here's just a little exercise that you can do, not the main exercise yet. I'll share that with you guys in a few minutes. You will make sure that you have your big goal, so your primary goal, and then you will have 2 little sub goals that you can set there that will help you. So these could be like your weekly goals or your monthly goals in order to achieve, say, I want to compete in 3 months' time at the national championships and make a total of 100 kilograms. Now, your sub goal could be, I need to attend 5 weightlifting sessions each week in order to achieve that goal. Or I need to cut out some of the calories in my diet in order to lose some weight to make the weight category that I am going to be competing in. And then answering, how will I measure it? So for example, having the training sessions, you can definitively measure knowing that you are going to those 5 training sessions by showing up. And then also, for example, the weight loss goal, by getting on the scale at the end of the week, seeing if your weight is coming down, if you are on track for losing that weight. And then super important, time bound, have an end date, because then you know what you need to achieve by when. And then onto the next slide. Now, what is goal setting? I know this is a bit blurry for you. I don't know why it came out like this. Without goals, you are like a ship without a rudder, heading in no particular direction. Basically, it's the same thing as where a goal without a plan is just a wish. You need to make sure that you've got an action plan in order to achieve that goal. Now I'm getting to my final part, the most exciting part, and this is the exercise that I told you guys to kind of stay with me so that I can share this with you. And I feel like this is a super valuable exercise that you can do to just help you achieve your goals, and making sure that you are setting your goals specifically from exactly where you are currently at right now. Now, first, I want you to go and, you can pause this video or you can take your time going through this video, but I want you to go and grab either a diary or a piece of paper, and I want you to ask yourself the following questions. Now, the first question is, what am I doing now? I want you to list 3 things. What am I doing now? And that could be, I'm currently training 3 times a week for 30 minutes a session. It could be, I'm not watching my diet, just eating what I want. And it could be, I am working non-stop and not able to spend time with my family. Now you ask yourself, what do I want to do 1 month from now? I want you to write down 3 things that you want to do in exactly 1 month from right now. So the important thing with doing this exercise is obviously having a date. So making sure that you put today's date so that you know when you go back to this sheet, you know when you set this and by when you want to achieve the goals. Now that you've written down 3 things, what you want to achieve 1 month from now, now you are going to write down 3 points of what do I want to do in the next 6 months. So 6 months from now, what do I want to achieve? Next question, what do I want to do 1 year from now? Write those 3 points down. What do I want to do 5 years from now? So now we are getting like from the long term, which is 1 year, to like the long term, which is 5 years from now. That could be owning your own business. It could be, participating at the World Championships, going to Olympics, anything like that. And then what is my like ultimate long-term goal? That could be anything from having a family, owning a $2 million house, to you have gone to the Olympics and opening up your own high performance center. Those are some of my goals, actually. And then what is my dream goal? I want you to write down 3 things. What is my dream goal? Now that you have done that, I want you to take your time with this exercise. It's not something that should be rushed. So again, come back to this video if you need to, so that you can go through the points I discussed previously, or watch my other goal setting video that I have on Spotify or on podcast, as well as my YouTube channel, and really do some self-reflection. Really try and dive into why these things are so important for you and what you actually want to achieve, because I think it's extremely important to have something that you are working towards, because at the end of the day, having this something that you're working towards, it's just going to make things easier, and it's going to help fuel you when things are tough, because there's an end in sight. There's something that you want to achieve. You know that you're not just training to train. You're not just waking up early in the morning for no reason. You want to achieve something at the end of the day. So goal setting is extremely valuable for that. Now, in finishing off, guys, I want to say, you can comment below. For those of you watching the YouTube video, comment below letting me know what are some of your long-term goals that you want to achieve. And also for those on Spotify, you can always send me an email at mona@helpingpsychology.com, letting me know what are some of the long-term goals you want to achieve. Now, I want to say thank you guys for the support. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, ring the notification bell so that you know when I release a new video. I hope you all have an amazing day, and then I'll see you all in the next one.